So the only comfort, and
this is the state of the United States of America right now, Sean.
It certainly is in New York.
Aren't you just sick and tired of these adult Trump kids whining and Donald Trump whining and the Trump lawyers whining? I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. After Donald Trump's disastrous testimony in week 6 of the New York Attorney General's civil fraud trial, and as Ivanka is set to testify on Wednesday, we've got the adult Trump spawn and Donald Trump's lawyers like Alina Habba going on TV, misrepresenting what goes down in the courtroom and just whining like petulant children. And it's just the whininess. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, independent, progressive, liberal, conservative. This is just whiny behavior. Here's another clip of Eric Trump from that interview with Sean Hannity where he's saying, the banks love us. The banks love us. We did no crime. The banks love us. Here, play this clip of Eric.
And I can't believe this is being allowed to happen in New York. There is no crime. There is no victim. Our banks made hundreds of millions of dollars off of us. Our banks love us. They've never called a default on us. It doesn't make any sense. There's bad people out there every day that mess around in business, that cause harm. No one has been harmed. The exact opposite. In fact, our banks, as I keep on saying, have made a ton of money and love us. It doesn't make any sense, Sean.
You see, but here's the thing. That's what they say on Fox. We had a great corporation. But what are they saying at trial? What does the evidence show? Because here on the MeidasTouch Network, that's something I want to look at. Show me the evidence. And at trial, when Eric was asked about the statement of financial conditions, he basically said, I don't really deal with that. I'm not really sure what the statement of financial conditions said. I relied on Mazars, an accounting firm. I relied on the controller of the Trump organization. I relied on Alan Weisselberg, the former chief financial officer. I relied on the outside lawyers. I don't really look at these things. All I do is pour concrete, he says. All you do is pour concrete? I don't think you've ever poured concrete in your life, number one. But number two, you are the co-trustee of the revocable trust. You're supposed to be the leader of the Trump organization during the relevant period of time. If you say you have this great company, which, by the way, it's actually a small, closely held family company. I'll tell you what CEOs do. If you want to act like a CEO, CEOs look through their statement of financial conditions. CEOs speak with their outside professionals, and they go through the numbers. They go through the documents. Here's a question that I'll pose to you. If you're on the fence, if you're like, you know what, Ben, I appreciate your legal analysis, but I don't really know what to believe. Let me just ask you this simple question. Why didn't Donald Trump's lawyers, why didn't Eric's lawyers, why didn't Don Jr.'s lawyer, why didn't they have direct examination of their clients? So after the cross-examination by the New York Attorney General, where it's going to be the points and evidence the New York Attorney General wants to get in, why wouldn't you, as Donald Trump or Eric or Donald Trump, then have your lawyer ask you questions on direct exam to try to clarify the situation? That's what direct exam is after a cross-exam like this, where a plaintiff, in this case the prosecutors, call an adverse witness, where they go, okay, well, any questions by the lawyers for defendant? And they say no. Why wouldn't you go, well, Eric, you were asked this question on cross-exam by the prosecutors. Can you explain this, please? Can you explain that, please, Eric? Can you please clarify that? Can you talk about the diligence that was done on 40 Wall Street? Can you talk about the diligence that was done on Aberdeen? Can you talk about one fact about Aberdeen, though, as well, which a lot of people have been DMing me about, is that the golf course isn't really even in Aberdeen proper. And so Donald Trump, during his testimony, also didn't even really accurately describe where the golf course is. Shocker. I just wanted to mention that. But why wouldn't your lawyers provide direct exam so that you could put your own evidence right? To try to dispute the evidence of the New York Attorney General. Instead, you had Donald Trump's lawyers like Alina Habba stand up during cross-exam and say, "Judge, you have to listen to what Donald Trump is saying." And the judge is like, "I'm not here just to listen to him rant and rave. I'm here to listen to the answers to the questions." And he's being asked by the prosecutors, then you can go and ask your questions. That's the way this works. So take a look at Eric at the beginning of this video, and now let's compare it to Eric Trump at his deposition. So just so you see Eric on Fox, Eric in his deposition. Play the clip.
And do you recognize the name David McCardle?
I recognize the name very vaguely, and I recognize the name very, very vaguely. Cushman, Wakefield. Yes, I recognize the name.
And does this refresh your recollection that in mid-2014, Cushman and Wakefield had been retained to provide consulting services related to an analysis of the estimated value of a potential conservation easement on all or part of the Seven Springs estate?
Truthfully, Andy, it really doesn't. This isn't to me. I didn't sign this. This looked like it was something between Sherry Dillon and Cushman and Wakefield. It's extremely consistent with what she would have done. It's extremely inconsistent with what my role is at the company. I just don't. I think I was very kind of clear that, to the best of my knowledge, I really haven't been involved. In appraisal work on this property.
Well, are you saying that this engagement could have happened without your knowledge and approval?
I'm just saying I don't remember this. I'm not on here. I never signed this document. I just don't seem to recall anything about this. You know, I pour concrete. I operate properties. I don't focus on appraisals between a law firm and Cushman. This is just not. It's not what I do in my day-to-day responsibilities. And you know, I hardly recognize the name.
And here is Alina Habba after Donald Trump testified. Alina Habba goes out, speaks on the courthouse steps, and says, "The judge yelled at me. I got yelled at by the judge. Why am I even being paid if the judge is here to yell at me?"
You have a right to hire a lawyer who can stand up and say something when they see something wrong. But I was told to sit down today. I was yelled at, and I've had a judge who is unhinged slamming a table. Let me be very clear. I don't tolerate that in my life. I'm not going to tolerate it here. And you know what? You shouldn't either.
And it's just like Alina Habba, the way courts work. There are turns, you take turns, you could ask questions on direct. This is the time for the New York Attorney General to do cross-exam, and then you can go. There's order that is followed. There is a process that's followed. And I'll just show you this right here. This is the former governor of Arkansas, Asa Hutchinson. And here's Asa Hutchinson, Republican. I'm showing you a video of a Republican right now. And this is what Asa Hutchinson says about Donald Trump's behavior. He says he calls him exactly what we say here in the MeidasTouch Network. It's the behavior of a petulant child. Play this clip.
But we do not need to have a president that undermines our rule of law, that goes in the courtroom as he did today in New York and acts like a child, a petulant child. We don't need that in America. We need adults in the room.
And folks, that's one of the main things that we talk about here in the MeidasTouch Network. It's like empathy, it's normalcy, it's decency, it's intelligence, it's evidence-based. That's the focus. And I want to focus more on that than, oh, this is a progressive, this is a conservative. Let's just talk about your character. Let's talk about character. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers thanks to your support. Have a great day.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.